Hello, it is World Wide Web, Wednesday, August 21st, 2024. Steve Sipress here, and I've got one of my Rhino t-shirts, the American flag Rhino t-shirt with the American flag in the background, because tonight is the final night of the Democrat National Convention, held only once every 4 years, and tonight is the biggest speech in the life of Kamala Harris as she accepts the nomination and then let the games begin. Thankfully, we only have a couple of months or so left in the election, and hopefully we're in the home stretch. Unfortunately, of course, then it all starts up again almost immediately. But I digress. It is World Wide Web Wednesday, and we have big news about the 800-pound gorilla in the room, Google. So Google has been making all kinds of mistakes and having glitches recently. In fact, they recently sent out an email to their advertisers apologizing for a big mistake where ads were misplaced and mismatched, and hey, you're not going to get charged for those wrong ads and this and that, like unheard of stuff happening with Google. And I read an article, and it said the reason why, I can tell you a story. Have you ever gone to the zoo and you went over to look at the lion in the big enclosure with the lion? Every time I've gone to see one, the lion is like snoozing all day on a rock and just sitting there where all these other animals are just cruising right by, which I assume are natural prey for lions. They're like lunch and dinner and breakfast, just walking right by and like nothing happened and nothing's going on. And I remember asking a zookeeper once who was nearby, I'm like, how can that happen? How can they do that? How are those animals not scared out of their minds? How do they not stand hundreds of yards away? It's a lion. And she just laughed and said, we keep that lion so well fed that it is so fat and lazy, it never comes off that rock. It wouldn't go anywhere near it. Any of those animals, they all know they're perfectly safe. Well, the reason I'm telling that story is because that has been Google for the past, at least a decade or so, that they've had complete dominance. And in the recent antitrust lawsuit brought by the United States government and won by the United States government recently against Google, it was uncovered how many billions and millions and zillions of dollars that Google pays to other platforms and manufacturers to be the ultimate default browser, the default search engine, rather, no matter what browser is being used or what device is being used. Google is the default search engine everywhere you go, and so that alone was the main reason, if you ask me, from reading the some of the what the court said, is that was really the main thing that irked the government, was that Google is just flexing its huge multi-trillion-dollar 800-pound gorilla power to overpower competitors and basically just spend them out of a competitive marketplace, and therefore they're a monopoly in the world of search. Well, recently you heard me talking about Search GPT coming out by OpenAI, and that, I read an article, is that the author is claiming that that's been really the cause of all the problems going over at Google, that they got big, fat, and lazy over the years and didn't have to innovate and really didn't have to do much of anything. And now that OpenAI has released Search GPT, which is the first really major threat to the Google search dominance, and then the DOJ coming down and winning this antitrust lawsuit, has sent Google into total chaos, and all these errors and all these mistakes are happening. So if you're an advertiser on Google or just a user of Google, I am neither right now, although some of my businesses, yeah, of course, and of course my clients were doing a bunch of pay-per-click stuff with Google, just understand that there's some trouble and there's some glitches and there's some problems going on. However, Search GPT, and I'm sure other alternatives, are on the way, so that you no longer have to simply pay the exorbitant prices and kowtow to whatever rules and whims Google sets. There's going to be some competition in the marketplace. Apparently there already is enough to cause some big problems with Google. So we'll keep you up to date here on future editions of World Wide Web Wednesday. But just so you know, even the 800-pound gorilla in the room that has been dominating for well over a decade suddenly thrown into a tizzy. Protect your company and your business against stuff like this happening so the same does not happen to you. And if you want help with that, reach out to me any way you want, thewowstrategy.com, steve@stevesipress.com, private message, comment. Please like, share, all that kind of good stuff as well. And come back here and be with me again tomorrow on Throwback Thursday. I will catch you then. Over and out. Bye-bye.